Hey, what's up, everybody? Let's have a quick discussion. A bunch of people have asked me about my opinion or maybe why I don't do some of the banded, resisted first step sprint drills, acceleration drills, projection drills, those types of resisted band drills. So let's go over a few things. Like three main things come to my head right away when I see this drill. So all I'm trying to do is provide some insight into how I see things now. You do what you want to do, but this is just how I would view it because I used to do all these drills. Remember that. Like I'm not sitting here the guy that just goes out and like bashes on all these exercises. I've done all this stuff. And I was like, no, that wasn't that effective. Why did I used to do that? And I would always, at the end of every like program series or off season, go back, evaluate my program and be like, this was good, this was bad. Okay, so let me show you what I started to see. So a typical drill, right? Like say their band is around their hips or their waist, and either like a partner's holding it or it's anchored down to something like a rack or whatever, a heavy dumbbell, something like that. So let's just pretend that it's anchored right now since I don't have a partner, and I'll show you a few of the things. So a couple of drills are done a few different ways. I used to do it this way. I used to do a half kneeling, boom, to go, and in like a split stance to go. And I even used the jammers at one point where I had the band behind me and a partner was behind, and they were like in this type of position to go. Okay, so first thing that comes to my mind right away is I started to break down that film over and over and over again, myself and my athletes, and then all the people that are posting it on social media. I would just screen grab it and I would just kept breaking it down. I'm going, oh my God, like 80+% of the time, they're always jumping, leaping. That's not running. So we were literally teaching our athletes to jump and leap. And I want the exact opposite. So I kept going to myself, wow, this drill is supposed to fill in the gap right between some of the weight room work and on-field work. And I think it just made the gap bigger and bigger because all we did was teach athletes to jump, leap. Okay. So we go up over the gate and then we land. All we had to do was open the gate and roll through it. But instead, we were teaching athletes to jump, explode, and leave also stuff behind too much, their backside leg. So we were leaving things behind and we were jumping. That's the first thing I started to see, um, which was like a red flag right away. Okay. Second one, there's the other variations of these drills where it's around my hips or there's a band attached and I do like a single leg thrust into the band or it's attached to me again and it's a single leg hip thrust horizontally. A lot of people are doing that drill. And again, I start to look at that and I go, so you think the hip only works as this hip horizontal thrusting mechanism? And then again, I start to look at it myself doing the exercise and I go, then there's really no component of this wheel action, which you need with sprinting. Then instead, we're treating ourselves like robots and we just go, whoop. Like all we do is move forward by thrusting our hips forward. That's not how you sprint. So we weren't taking advantage of this natural hip cycle. So I was like, oh, that's a red flag. So that was the second one. Okay. And then the third thing, which really kind of corresponds to the first element of jumping and leaping, but the third one was like the knee and below, started to just watch that only. And I would do this drill, and again, my athletes would do the drill, and every time it was this big triple extension pattern. So the knee would start here because we were in this split stance, right? We're in these type of running mechanic positions, and it would just whoop every single time. And I get onto the ball of the foot so quick. There was no anchoring. There was no like anchor to whip the hip forward by this action. Not talking about whip the hip this way at all. I don't talk about that. But there was no cyclic again action. It was just a jump and extend, triple extension pattern. So then we were quite literally teaching athletes, hey, when you sprint, you should jump, leap, and you should fully extend, right? Or again, the other banded drill where you just horizontally thrust your hip forward, which again is not the running mechanics we need. So those are just a few of the things that I saw, three main kind of like red flags, reasoning I don't do those drills anymore. Okay, so hopefully it makes sense. Maybe it provides some insight to some of the coaches. If you want to keep doing them, keep doing them. That's cool with me too. But right, have fun with this information.